So tonight, Amy and I decided to do a series, if we could, on cooking from your pantry, which basically does mean budget cooking, because you're using ingredients that you have on hand, right? You're not going out and eating every single night. You're cooking from home, you're eating more healthily. And in order to cook from your pantry, I like to say that you need to be a skilled cook. Because, you know, in order to have that confidence to go in there and whip out your saute pan and know that what you're putting together is going to taste good, you need to have a skill. You need to be skilled at it. So I look at being a skilled cook as like a three-pronged stool. So the first prong would be that you need to be confident with your technique. You need to know at least one technique, right? You need to know how to saute, or you need to know how to roast, or you need to know how to grill, or you need to know how to braise, because that's how we cook, is using techniques. There's only 9 cooking techniques out there. So all the variation that you get at the restaurants is based on using different ingredients and flavorings and spices and herbs. The cooking techniques are the same. So you have to know a technique, okay? And you know what? It just so happens that Kitchencue can help you with that if you need it. So you have to, that's the first leg. The second leg is you have to have a well-stocked pantry. And on our website, we have a little box where you can download the pantry resource guide, but Amy also printed it out for you if you guys got it from over on the table there. And this is just my development of what I think my pantry looks like. Now, everybody's pantry is created differently because everybody likes to cook and eat different things, right? But this is to give you an idea of what does that mean, a well-stocked pantry? You know, does that mean I have spices in there from 2 years ago? And, you know, yeah, that probably does mean that, right? But we're going to say that tonight, we're going to say that it's the new year, and any spices that you have that are older than 6 months should be thrown away. Okay, so that's, you know, it just is going to be, it's going to make your cooking better, I promise. If you go out and if you come here and you buy the spices in bulk, you know, you buy a couple tablespoons of what you need, it's really fresh, it tastes really great, as opposed to the stuff that's sort of languishing in the cabinet and not being used. Having a well-stocked pantry means having what I call like a purposeful pantry. You know, it's something that's going to work for you. It's not a bunch of crap shoved into a cabinet or a freezer or whatever. It's something, it's all ingredients that you like to eat and that you like to use in your cooking. So I divide it on here, you'll see I divide it in refrigerator, freezer, produce, canned goods, dry goods, and then herbs and spices. So when we're talking about a pantry, we're not just talking about dry goods storage. We're talking about things in your freezer, things in your refrigerator, you know, herbs and spices, all sorts of things we're talking about when we talk about a pantry. The great thing about being able to cook from your pantry is that it's really affordable, because you can buy whatever is on sale. And the good thing about having a skill and knowing how to saute or knowing how to grill or knowing how to roast is that you can buy what's on sale. You don't have to buy what the recipe says. You can buy what's on sale. You can go through the grocery store, you can see what your heart is saying you want to eat. I mean, do you have that? When you go through the grocery store, you're like, ooh, that sounds good. You know, that really looks good. So I can buy that, and I have confidence that I know how to cook it, because I have the skill. I have a pantry that's pretty well stocked. And the third thing is that I know what ingredients go together. And that is probably one of the most common questions I get from students, is how do I know what ingredients go together? So when you think about how do I know what ingredients go together? A, think about where you've traveled. And I don't mean like out of the country, even in the country, or even to a restaurant. Think about the things that you've had at a restaurant that you like. The butternut squash ravioli with the sage brown butter, you know, that's a good one. Or think about, like, if you go to Mexico, what kind of ingredients are there down there? There's tomatoes and corn and zucchini and cilantro and lime, and think about those kinds of things. Cooking, understanding how things go together is a lot about regional cooking, right? So if you go down to the south, to Louisiana, and you're cooking Cajun or you're eating Cajun, what kinds of things are you eating down there? What kind of things do you see go together? And so that's how you really learn what things you can put in a pan without being afraid that you're going to totally, you know, screw it up. And so we want to rely on that knowledge, and we also want to be creative, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think when you're getting started and you're just sort of curious, like, how do I know what goes together? That's a good way to do it, is think about countries, think about the styles of food, think about things that you've had in restaurants that you've liked that kind of go together. And in the Kitchencue DVDs, just so you know, we do have those tables that are grids that show you ingredients that go together. And I put those in there because a lot of people already know how to cook, but need inspiration and variety. Like, how many people make the same 20 things? What do they say? I think they make the same 20 things over and over again, right? Because you're just in the rut. I'm guilty of it myself. And I go in the kitchen, I'm like, I can't think of a damn thing to make. I can't think of one thing to cook. You know, I mean, sometimes you just get overwhelmed. And so it's nice to have an inspiration like that, whether it's a table on the DVD or a cookbook or a magazine or something beautiful that you're looking through that inspires you to, you know, to think about using some different ingredients. So, all right, so we got the three-legged stool down, right? Skill, pantry, and knowing what ingredients go together. We made this really great dish from everything that was in our pantry, and everything is flexible. If you don't have sage, you don't have to use it, right? It's just the components. You understand the technique behind making a short dough, so you can make one of those and really fast and have it in your freezer ready to go. And yeah, I hope I've armed you with some good stuff to go forward. So thank you for coming. Thank you.